Greetings, fellow carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, I'll be reviewing the 2001 film Turbulence 3, Heavy Metal, starring John Mann, Craig Schaefer, Gabrielle Anwar, and Monica Schnarr. An overview of the movie? Shock rock superstar Slade Craven is having his farewell concert and decided to have it on a 747 flying from Los Angeles to Toronto. At the same time, the concert will be streaming live over the internet for millions of people to watch. However, mid-flight, Craven is replaced by a member of a satanic cult who takes the plane hostage. Now it's up to Slade Craven and hacker Nick Watts to take back the plane and make sure it lands safely. The pros of this movie? Well, first of all, the soundtrack of this movie was just beautiful. It was full of like late 90s, early 2000 heavy metal, which is what this was about. And one of my favorite things was Slade Craven was the lead singer of this band. And every single song that band did, the actor playing Slade Craven actually sang. It was beautiful, especially when you consider that John Mann, who played Slade Craven, was a folk singer and to this day sings folk music. And yet he pulled this off beautifully. It was just fantastic. I also really liked the touch of how Slade Craven was evil. And I say evil because while a lot of people, they just wrote it off as, oh, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, his poor writing. I view it more as he was playing a character. Like, the Slade Craven was playing a character. You know, he wasn't actually this demonic devil worshiper guy. He was just pretending to be one because that sold tickets and sold albums and got people into his music. He was just playing a part, playing a role. He didn't necessarily believe in it, but he was just playing the role. Like, at one point, he had this necklace that had a sword upside down with the tip of it going into a skull, and when asked what he was, he said it was the sign of the devil. No, it's just a frickin' sword with the blade pointing at a skull. That's it. And another thing, he's talking about pentangles as, signs of the devil, when it's actually pentagrams, not pentangles. And little things like that made me think that this character is just faking it. Not so much that the writer doesn't know what he's talking about, but the character doesn't know what he's talking about. And he's just faking being this demonic antichrist whatever. People just labeled him as the antichrist, and he just decided to run with it. And I really liked that about the guy. Also, one thing I really like that's really hard to do is that all of the action took place in one location, which was beautiful. They did it very well. All of the action in this movie took place on this 747 within like 2 or 3 rooms. And the fact that they could have this fight and have all this action and suspense happening in such a confined area, and it felt confined and tight and claustrophobic, they did that beautifully. And to tie into that, this movie never really had any slow moments. It was all necessary for the plot. It was bare bones and just beautiful. Everything was excitement. Everything had you guessing. That, or it was just establishing characters in the very beginning of the movie. Everything in this movie was important, and I love that. The cons of this movie? Well, first of all, while this movie was exciting and it did keep you in suspense, there were more suspenseful scenes than there were action scenes. Like, the majority of the excitement of the movie was like people being held hostage and, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? It didn't come from the excitement didn't come from like fight scenes or gun battles or car chases or anything like that. It came from just wondering what was gonna come next. Is he gonna shoot that hostage? Is that a real gun? What's going on? Who really is the bad guy? I don't know. Who's in on the satanic cult plot? What's going on? It's suspense that drives the movie, not so much action. And when you want an action film, that's not really a good thing to have. Also, the biggest flaw with this movie It is definitely a product of its time, and it did not age well. It's clearly a product of its time. With, you know, streaming video was still brand new, and it's still pretty much unheard of at this time. This movie was made in 2001, before YouTube or anything like that, before streaming video was commonplace. So it was still new, it was still fresh, and it was still exciting. And it looked like 2001 internet. It really did. So it was very dated, very much a product of its time. There was also this lead female character who was a supporting protagonist. That was, she was supposed to be this person that you felt so sympathetic for. She was an FBI agent who had been tracking down the hacker for like 2 years, and she finally found out where he was, and she was like, let's go bust him. And her boss was like, no, that's what field operatives do. You just find the guy, sit down, we'll send some field guys tomorrow. Like, you're supposed to feel sorry for her because she's been working so long to get this guy and now she can't go arrest him? That's her job. It's not like it was some new rule that was just made up that day. It had been there. She knew that going into the job. And yet she still went after the guy anyway, even though her boss told her not to. She just threw her job away to find this guy to settle a grudge because of personal nonsense. No, I did not feel sorry for that character. She was annoying. She in real life, she would have thrown away the case against that hacker guy by going after him without a freaking warrant. She searched his place without a warrant. She would have thrown away the entire case by doing what she did, and I in no way felt sympathetic towards that character, even though I knew I was supposed to. Fuck that character. Moving on. Also, as far as the antagonists go, I felt the writers were a little lazy, because let's be honest, around that time, late 90s, early 2000s, there were a lot of, really, just in any period of film, satanic cults are generic bad guys. It's like, I can't think of a bad guy or a villain for my movie. What should I do? Let's have a satanic cult because that's easy. He's just evil by the nature of he exists. There we go, problem solved, satanic cult. Come up with something new, some sort of new villains who has some sort of original motivation, not just raise the devil from the depths of hell. Come up with something new, please. The best action scene of the movie? That would have to be kind of like towards the end of the movie. And it's Slade Craven versus the fake Slade Craven. And the two of them are just fighting and duking it out. And the best part is that John Mann played both of these characters. And just seeing them fight each other and use weapons and punches in the environment. It's not a very long fight, but it's still a gloriously amazing fight to watch. And it's easily the best action scene of the movie. My overall thoughts on the movie? The biggest issue with this movie is that it did not age well. It feels very dated, and it's clearly a product of its time. That being said, I still enjoyed it, and I give it 1 thumb up. I would have enjoyed it more if there had been a little bit more action, but how they did it still worked. If you can get past the cheesiness and dated nature of the movie as a whole, then I think you will enjoy Turbulence 3. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every week. Also, if you have any recommendations for movies you would like me to review in the future, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you and have a nice day. Then I think you will enjoy... Fuck! I was about to say Heavy Metal 3. That's not the title of the fucking movie.